Hello and good afternoon to you. This is another round of the 8742 Development Theory and Administration. Like we have been discussing long before now, so many things come to mind when one looks at issues of development. And the foundation of this course is premised on how to proffer solutions to the issues of development and how best that development can be approached and the various perspectives that different countries and different development epochs have made use of in the pursuit of development. So that is the very foundation of this course. So in our today's lecture, that reflects discussions on underdevelopment, and you align that with what this course is meant to achieve, you would find that its relevance cannot be overstated, owing to the fact that the whole idea is how to attain development. It means there is a problem of development in this part of the world. And that is why this course has been found within the ambit of academic discussion and even in terms of policies and programs of government. And the whole concept of it is premised on how best to attain development, how best to transform the lots of the society from an underdeveloped status to that of a developed one. So the question now comes to mind. If development administration is built around the pursuit of a high standard of living and an equitable level of development within the society, then how best can it be deployed into curbing the issues of underdevelopment that we grapple with in this part of the world? There's no gainsaying that third world countries, particularly of African descent, which Nigeria is a part of, is an underdeveloped environment. Because when you look at what underdevelopment means, in terms of the checklists or the indices that reflects underdevelopment, you would find that we are far from what a developed society is known to be when one considers development in the world. So underdevelopment is viewed from various perspectives. If you remember in the last class, we looked at the argument of the organization scholars that they said you must follow certain procedures and certain patterns to attain development. And that the internal challenges of these third world countries is because of the developed status that they occupy. And we also saw in the last class how the argument of independence scholars hold external factors, like we made mention of colonialism, neocolonialism, slavery, imperialism, and a host of other factors, exploitation of resources, both human and material resources, so many other factors that these external forces foist on the third world countries to be the result of the development of the third world. So today now we'll be looking at what are the features of underdevelopment. How can one conceive of underdevelopment and make proper understanding of what the concept of underdevelopment is about and relate that with the whole idea of this course in the pursuit of development. What can we do to attain development? How do we transform our society to take it from the lowest ladder of the measurement of development that we have found ourselves to be at the lowest rung of the ladder to a considerable state where we can now be considered as a developed society? So there are so many understandings that are given to the issues of underdevelopment, so many explanations, so many theoretical underpinnings that guides an understanding of what underdevelopment is about. So for the purpose of this course, we say that in the humanities, like in many other similar disciplines, we learn that every concept operates within an environment, and the concept of development administration, theories, planning, revolve and operate within the confines of the environment. However, emphasis will be placed on the economic environment at this point. It is worthy of note that economic situations of today's developing countries was initially characterized by underdevelopment. Here we will discuss the key economic features of underdevelopment and when country begins to move on the path of development. So the objective of this course at the end of it is expected that students should be able to explain the economic features of underdevelopment, evaluate the characteristics of underdevelopment, and a host of other if one is to ask the question, judging from what we have discussed and judging from the scholarly perspectives that we have looked at, with particular emphasis on the views of the CS, would one now describe Nigeria as an underdeveloped economy? I would wait for your answer on the WhatsApp platform. Let's move on with the lecture. So the whole idea now is premised on how to transform our society to a developed one. So economic features of the developed economy as a subheading here, we say that there is no case saying that the economy of the developed society is dominantly agrarian and revolves around agriculture. That is one of the features of the developed economies. That the bulk of the people, the majority of the people that exist in those societies do not have any other thing to do beyond being engaged in agriculture. And not even agriculture for commercial purpose or even for meeting the food needs of society. It is basically subsistence agriculture with the use of very crude and primitive implements and with the production of crops that are of relevance to these advanced countries. So it is even a distorted agricultural arrangement that we pursue in this part of the world, or as it is seen in most of the developed countries of the world. Remember, it is not just within Africa alone that we find underdeveloped countries, but there are similar attributes that these underdeveloped countries share. And one is the fact that they engage more in agriculture, primitive agriculture. So the mass of the people are tied into a kind of agriculture that cannot even meet the food needs of their society. So it's not enough to say that, okay, they are into agriculture. What type of agriculture are they into? What is the percentage of people that are engaged in this agriculture? Take Nigeria, for instance. We have a population of over 200 million. How many persons are in the line of, technology that can propel industrial growth? How many persons are in the civil service? How many persons are even gainfully employed within the confines of what is to be understood as the labor force of this country? So you find that the bulk of the population are in rural areas struggling with primitive agriculture that is faced with a lot of challenges. And like we know it today, herders, farmers, prices, everything totally distorted in a manner that we cannot even rely on this agriculture to pursue development. So typically, up to 80% of the labor force is engaged in agriculture. Production is based on age-old technology. So in the 21st century, we still find a situation where people farm with hoes and cutlasses and have their ways bent to the ground perpetually because that is what they know best. Instead of using modern equipment, using technology to pursue agriculture. So we are not anywhere near the pursuit of development using agriculture as an instrument of development. And like you know, when you have a very vibrant agricultural system, there's a tendency that industrialization will pick up easily because there is this forward and backward linkages that exist between technology, industrial growth, and agriculture. Because in most cases, and if you look at how these advanced countries were able to attain the levels of industrial growth that they got to, agriculture played a very critical factor. They ensured a considerable level of complementarity and reciprocity between agriculture and industrialization. So where agriculture works well, there's a tendency that the farms or the agricultural productivity would feed the industries that will now trigger other forms of development and even a diversification of the economy itself. But here we are grappling with primitive agriculture, and then we are fixated at that point. That's the sad part of it. Our kind of agriculture is not the type that can even pursue industrial growth, but rather our agriculture feeds industries that are outside our environment. So it becomes a problem to us here in terms of even making sure that we meet our needs when it comes to local consumption. So production is based on age-old technology. It's largely for subsistence and carried out under feudal relations. If you understand what feudalism is, it is a stage of development, the pre-capitalist stage of development, where you have landowners, and then those that farm in those lands and pay rent to the landowners, and whatever they get in return is what they keep to themselves. But basically, the landowners are the greatest beneficiaries of this feudal arrangement. And that is one of the arguments of modernization school of thought, that we have pre-capitalist values or economic systems coexisting side by side with capitalism. And that is why we have not been able to metamorphose to that stage of development that is required to better the lives of our citizens, or to better the lots of our economies, or to even provide the greatest happiness for the greatest number of persons within our own economy. So when you have feudalism existing, capitalism existing, communalism existing, you now have a confused system that cannot necessarily pursue development within that arrangement. Like we know it today, feudal examples can be found easily in northern Nigeria, for instance. You still have the kingship arrangement and all that, which is also a good system. You have communal arrangements still within the north, and in some places like in the north central, other side parts of this country. You have communalism simply means a system where everybody is given lands to produce for the interest of all and sundry. It's a reflection of communism, which is the highest level of those kind of communal arrangements. So we have all these things existing, and we still lay claim to a free market economy arrangement, where we say that the forces of demand and supply should decide how development is pursued. So the argument of this potential scholar is that we have pre-capitalist values coexisted side by side with capitalism, and it's the problem of third world countries and propels underdevelopment. So our agricultural arrangement here is still premised on this feudal system, this feudal arrangement where a few persons have lands, and then they give these lands to people to farm, and then they bring returns back to them. And those returns, the feudal lords are the ones that benefit the most. So the farmer, in most cases, do not even have anything significant to point at as an achievement from agriculture that most members of the population are engaged in. So feudal lords live an ostentatious life and make little or no investment in agriculture. Within the industrial sector, traditional household craft preponderate. That's our kind of industrial arrangement, or the pursuit of industrial development in this part of the world, is still on the premise of local handcrafts. When it comes to modern day technology, we now submit to a turnkey arrangement where we bring these advanced countries, engineers and technicians to come and operate our industries for us, because we do not have the requisite knowledge to pursue on the development using industrialization. So our kind of industrial growth is still at the level of household handcraft. That's why you see that even our art and craft is still very rudimentary, does not reflect modern day practice. So modern industry, if it exists at all, is limited to a few lines. For instance, jute and cotton textile. In India, for instance, prior to the Second World War, this jute and cotton textile industry existed. Infrastructural services like transport and communications are extremely poor and limited. As in implicit in the structure of an underdeveloped economy, its relative factor endowment pattern is dominated by land, or by land and labor together. Relative availability of capital is extremely low. Capital goods are mainly those which are turned out by the traditional craft. In countries like India and China, marked by high population pressure, the relative factor proportion between land and labor is itself adverse, with a low land-labor ratio. Additional labor due to population growth stays back in agriculture, since little opportunity of others remain underemployed. Labor, the human capital, is thus poor in quality. What this is simply saying is that the issues of underdevelopment replicates itself endlessly. In some instances, one might be quick to say, okay, India is on the path of development, China is on the path of development. But by the time you consider the population that they have in those countries, and you marry that with the per capita income, or how the GNP and GDP is measured side by side the population, you realize that these countries, in as much as they occupy the posture of a developed society, are actually an underdeveloped economies in themselves. Take, for instance, an economy like China, that the population is over 1 billion. By the time you measure, you sum up everything that is produced in that country in a year and divide it by that population, you'll find them grappling with a very low figure as their per capita income. So they also have these attributes of underdevelopment. Nigeria, some countries in Latin America, they fit into these categories of underdevelopment. So it reflects itself in the aspect of low income. It reflects itself in the aspect of education. It reflects itself in the aspect of primitive agriculture, traditional craftsmanship, and a whole lot of other factors. Like, as discussed in one of the classes, you see issues of poverty reigning supreme in this economy. You find issues of inequality existing so much in this economy. And then unemployment, there's no need to even go to that point because it has become a hallmark or what these third world countries are known for. So these features exist in many aspects and can be viewed from so many angles depending on the position that it is looked at. Scholars differ in their various perspectives about it. Some look at it from the angle of the GDP, some look at it from the angle of even life expectancy, from the Human Development Index, and so many other factors. So the whole idea here is premised on the fact that these countries continue to grapple with poor communication system, poor transport system, extreme poverty, and to a large extent, they focus on very narrow resource base. It's either agriculture and agriculture alone, or in most cases, you find maybe agriculture with little industrial growth, or you find them relying so much on natural resources that in some instances, they do not even decide on how those things are sold in international markets. So they are the mercy of these advanced countries from all perspectives. So asset ownership, particularly of the most important factor of production, land, is very unequally distributed in an underdeveloped economy. This is self-explanatory. A few persons occupying the vast majority of land in the society, then you have a large majority of people now depending on this few class of individuals that own the lands to now lobby them into accepting that they farm on those lands. Sometimes you even find this kingship arrangement that every land in a particular community belongs to the king. So whatever you are doing in such an environment is in the interest of the king. And then you are at the mercy of what the king gives to you. So the land is unevenly distributed, unequally distributed, and people grapple for it. And most times, the high and mighty in the society are the ones that own them. It may so happen that a handful of feudal lords own most of the land and the rest of the rural population work as tenants. It should be noted that disparity in income follow from land ownership, with 70% of the product going to a small class of landowners. This is self-explanatory. That because they own the land, and the vast majority of people have to work to even get what they submit to the expectation that the feudal lords or the landowners take advantage of. The rest of the population lives at subsistence level under acute poverty. Furthermore, in large countries such as India, there also exists disparity of incomes between different regions as the relative factor endowment as well as the level of development vary from region to region. Like we said earlier on, that India might occupy the posture of a developed country when looked at from a holistic angle. But when the levels of production in the country is now divided by the population, you now find that India is also a developed country. Same also as China. Since an undeveloped economy is characterized by stagnation in production and operates at a low level of equilibrium, savings are low, and so is investment. So because of the extent of the poverty and the unavailability of funds to diversify into other productive ventures, you now find that people hardly save money. All they get is directed towards consumption, basic needs. Also, is when you are comfortable that you think of investments and other kinds of comfort. So the whole idea that is reflected in this characterization of an underdeveloped society is that the bulk of the population engage in consumption alone, with little or almost
We are not hearing you, sir. So we have lost you. We can't hear you.
Bad network.
Good afternoon, everybody. I greet you all. The lecturers seem to have left us. Maybe we'll come back and join.
Okay, good afternoon. Maybe it's his network.
I guess so.
Yeah,
Okay.
good afternoon. It's bad network.
Please, can anybody guide me on where I can find functional process theory? I don't seem to find it in the manual and any other manual that I've looked at. Functional process theory, because the questions keep coming up in TMAs.
Oh, you know, he's using his own handout with us. So he's not using the main course material. So that's why that he promised us that he'll be sending the slide with us. So I don't know, maybe it's inside the slide.
No, it's not for this class. I'm talking about from the TMA I'm attempting. I'm seeing
Which course? Which course?
Is it on this course?
Is it on this course?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Functional.
Functional process theory and welfare state.
Maybe we'll ask him. When we finish with this course now, we can throw it as a question to him. Let's hear what he will say.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a good idea.
Have you started doing your TMA?
I'm done with
yes,
my
we have been trying. Yes, we are trying. No, you are done. Okay, now. Madam Christiana. I don't know.
You have finished your own, Madam Christiana. Come and teach us.
Teach Kene. Now try your luck we do. Thank God it work.
If you try your luck, you come and teach us too now.
I just pray, do the try your luck. By God's grace, it will work.
Yes, sir.
The course is not interesting at all.
It's on record, though. Mind your tongue. Then you know.
Oh, that's true.
But
I didn't say anything bad. I mean, they enjoyed the course. The English plenty.
What you need to do is just to listen
you
and try
read
to
now.
We are reading now. Aren't we reading? We are reading. God help us as well.
Let me call him and see what
Okay, that's better.
Thank you so much.
Please call him.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
It's like you have left us. So.
No. My network is having issues. I'm trying to reconnect.
Okay, fine. All right, we'll wait for you.
Just hang on a bit.
All right, thank you. Can you hear me?
We heard you.
So he said he's trying to connect.
So let us be waiting, sure.
What about this course? I don't think that we have been engaged on it at all. This project analysis and implementation.
I wonder. Nothing like that. It's not forthcoming now. Don't know. How can we get the lecturer?
That one is my portal.
I'm
not doing that. I'm not offering that one.
Okay.
I'm doing it. I registered for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that is the only class now that I've not.
Yes. We've not heard anything about the lecturer.
And I understand the
Yeah,
exam is around the
sorry,
corner.
hello. Are you all in Bob admin?
Yes. What department are you?
Bob admin as well.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I thought it's this thing. Is it not our project? This
No, that one is not project. That one is a course.
It's not project, no. It's a course, course.
I don't have it.
Yes.
Might have a research project.
Do you have any outstanding before?
No.
Do you have any outstanding?
No.
you not register research last semester.
Research methodology is a different course.
It was last semester course now.
Yes.
Yeah, it was last semester. Before you
Uh-huh.
continue with your project, you must pass it now.
That means you didn't write it last semester.
I wrote it.
Not everybody. Me say, but I got financial management.
Did you fail it last semester? Sorry to ask.
No, the research. No. No, I did not fail. I'm writing my project now.
Okay. Why is it not giving you project analysis? It's giving us. I don't understand it.
I don't know, honestly. And I went to
even me, I don't
my
have
study center to register. They did not give.
I don't understand all these people. So how many courses you are doing? How many courses you are doing this semester now?
It's 7.
7. I'm doing 7 as well. But that project implementation analysis is inside my course.
No, the one I'm doing is principle of management as elective. And
Yes.
And that's mine.
How many electives are you guys doing?
It gave me 2: global economics and a principle of management. So I picked one out of it.
Okay, you picked one out of it.
Okay.
Okay, you picked one out of it.
Global economics.
Did you say you picked one?
Yes, I picked one. It brought 2 electives. So I picked that principle of management.
I'll go and drop the global.
You cannot drop it now.
This project analysis is a core course. Are you sure
It's a core course for me. It's a core course for me. It's a core course.
Yeah, I did not register for it.
I did not register for it.
Very
It's
well,
not my
so that you don't fall short of one course at the end of the day.
I'm telling you, I will need to ask. So.
Ask, but it's not true. It's not true.
Because it's a core course. I saw pad. So I believe anything pad should be a core course for us. Because that's the
there were only 2 electives from which you can
exactly. Global economics and principle of management. That was the only 2 electives there. So I wonder why some people did not register for it. I don't even know the way they arrange their things.
But other university, it is a core course, but not for now. So
are you sure?
Yes, I have asked. I went to the center to ask. So you register based on what you have in your portal.
Anyway, I don't know the way they.
I will find out.
Try and do that. Go to your center and find out.
Let's see how it goes, yeah.
I wish it's even possible. Would have even arranged a reading class for all pub admin. So read together, just like the business admin people used to do.
Honestly.
I think there was a time I tried doing that, but people were not responding positively. I had to join a business admin.
I think last semester.
Yes, even this semester, I think I still brought it up, but the response was very poor for public admin. I had to join business admin students. Is that one without
time you raise it? That time you raised it, people were just trying to read.
It was late. It was late, yes.
What about now? Why haven't somebody at least since this semester raised something like that so we can start up? Like business admin people, every night, 8 to 10, 8:30 to 10, they do something. And I enjoy their classes whenever they have any course that concerns me. So that's the only way I read though, because read the manual easy before you close from work and all that. There's nothing like sharing ideas together.
Yeah. Start it.
Sister Adwa, did you hear that? Work on it.
I don't have time. Oh. Time is the problem.
You have to create it. You have to create it. Especially 3 courses. This development theory, administrative theory, and comparative.
That
we have
comparative is
we have mercy.
You who
I
have
beg
not
this
read.
development theory. I
You
don't
who have read.
understand
Me
it
have not
at
read
all.
anything. Sir.
You said what?
I think you who have read. Me have not.
Mm.
The theory. So maybe you're the one that will teach me that one.
My reading is these classes that I attend, and
Everybody's busy. Everybody's. Who can say he has already finished all the courses or all the handouts?
No,
We're
it's
trying
not
on.
possible.
It's not easy.
It's not at
So
all.
many things at hand.
so can anybody tell me something about this functional process theory? I don't seem to find it in any of the
Functional theory. You said it's what? Functional
process theory.
process.
Alfred, don't bother yourself. Let this man come back. That's the question we'll ask him for the day. We will throw it
Process.
to him. Just write it somewhere. At the end of this class, if you have any question, that's the question we will give you. Let him solve it for
Okay.
us. Mhm.
Hello, sir. Yeah.
Is your internet working?
Yes.
Although internet sources here, not
Although I'm using office internet, so.
Okay, maybe you have to, if in the next 5-10 minutes it doesn't come up, you have to end the lecture for me from your end.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll have to schedule it for some. No worry.
Yeah, but there are 2 questions. I don't know if maybe I will drop it on the there's this the functional process theories keep coming up, and I can't seem to find anything on it in the manual. Also, the welfare state, talking about the welfare state, and also functional process theory. I don't seem to find anything on it on the manuals provided for us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll address that.
Okay.
It's also allowed us to make
Okay.
We'll address that.
Thank you. Hello. Are you guys still there? I just spoke with him, not
Well, I was listening, but I didn't hear the conversation very well.
Yes. He said he's still struggling to connect. That
Okay.
if you cannot connect in the next 5-10 minutes, we should close the class. So we'll give him to 1:45. So if you cannot connect by 1:45, we'll go back to our business. Then we'll schedule the class for another time.
Okay. What about the question you asked him?
I told him, he said that we address those 2 issues. So I will just drop them on the WhatsApp page now.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Okay. Let's put it.
All right. So let's give him to 145.
All right, sir. Thanks. We are having a public policy by 3.
By 3
you guys
years.
remember.
Yes.
Tell others. Me forget.
Okay, let's snap a picture with my food. The daddy is speaking.
So it's that one that's better. Where is Neon?
Snap.
Yeah? Where's her own food? She said she wants to name on.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
The bit when I used to do.
Alive. When you get to the gate, ask of Usman. Yes. Security. All right, thank you.
Mr. Alfred, are you there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Which others are we going to focus on now? Is it his own slide that is sharing with us or the main course material? Because I'm confused.
I think his slide is
You focus on that
also
one.
important, but for the purpose of the exams,
Maria,
Mm.
yeah, for the exam.
is the material.
Yes.
You said what? Okay, for the purpose of exam, that
I
course
think it's the
material.
material, yes. But the slide provides explanation of what is the things that are in the material.
Like the one he's teaching, like the one he was teaching us before he left now. I was searching for it on my course material. I couldn't find it now. I don't even know the place.
It's there. It's there.
What
Which
page?
It's there. Page 51.
51. Okay.
Yes, he's on page 52 now.
52. Okay. Thank you. Because I'm already lost. Okay. Oh, well.
Okay, yes, I've seen it. Thank you, dear.
Please, is the class still on?
We are waiting for the lecturer to see if he can log in.
Okay.
He said in the next 15 minutes, we didn't see him, that we should call it a day.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe by 1:45. We didn't see him. You will schedule it again.
Thank you, my sister. God bless you.
You are welcome.
So this time is going to be like this because the semester it seems like just starting and yet it's ending. No.
God will help us. And this course is not that easy, Gary. God will help us.
Amen. No.
Mm.
Hello. I thought someone has the phone number of the facilitator.
Somebody has called already now.
He said we should wait.
He said we should give him 10 to 15 minutes. That was about
Mr. Shibobu, how are you today, sir?
I'm okay. How is everything?
Fine. He said we should give him 5-10 minutes, and that expires in 2 minutes' time. By the time the 5-10 minutes he said we should give him expires in 2 minutes' time. So by 1:45, if he has not connected back, we can log off and wait for him.
Except if you can still call him, since data is on, you can still call him again by WhatsApp.
He's having network challenge.
So do what now?
He's the one that gave that directive now. That
let him just give us the final.
Okay. Before we go off, Abi.
Yes, WhatsApp call. If you don't have enough credit.
Mr. Fred.
Yes.
Make arrangement with him about the next lecture so that we can make another makeup class.
Yes, of course. We will discuss that.
Okay.
Just you should hold on. Let me just call him.
I hope you people are aware. There is original class for today.
There is what?
Hello, Mr. Fred.
Speak on now. We are hearing you.
Madam Tonya, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please, I said I hope you people are aware we have original class for today, which the time is almost at hand.
Which
We
one
have
is
by
original
3
class?
now. That one is 3 now. Part 710.
Okay.
Is by 3.
Okay, we'll get back together by 3 o'clock. Is it 2 o'clock now, or what time is it now? We have
this is some minutes to 2.
We have 3 to 4 public policy and practice.
Yes.
So see you guys by 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So are you
all right,
logging out?
take care. Yes,
This
now.
part, when are we having this administrative theory?
Okay, so I think we
Administrative
can.
theory. Is it not Saturday?
Okay, Saturday, ma'am.
No,
Because
no.
I'm
Okay, this
seeing,
administrative. No,
I'm seeing
is it
Thursday here.
Saturday? It's Thursday. It's Thursday.
Is what?
And today is that
I think
Thursday
it's
now.
Thursday.
Today is the Thursday.
You know what,
Because
Alfred?
Yes.
Call him and let's ask whether we will still have the lecture after the public policy, so that we can be aware. Just call him, or we call it
We'll fix
again
it.
and we fix another time.
Okay. So if you can fix it for 4 o'clock, is that what you're saying? You can come back for 4, maybe 4:10, right?
4 to 5. You can come back. Yeah.
So this administrative theory, when do we normally have it, please? Does anybody know?
I think it's Thursday. Let me check my timetable.
the safety only was shifted to Saturday, 4 to 5.
No,
Saturday, 4
are you
to 5.
4 to 5? What of this one? Is this one not development theory? You people are mixing it up.
Development
theory.
Development theory is we are having.
Okay, this one we are waiting is development theory.
Yes, then the administrative theory is Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
It's Saturday by 4 to 5 on Saturday.
It's all right. See you guys by 3.
Okay. But still calling him and update us. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
You can sign off now.
You can give us feedback by WhatsApp for any kind of unanticipated information.
Sure.